All right, video. So I wanted to show you guys how you can actually save your footage, edit your footage, save your footage, and then send it to the group. Okay, so the person that actually took the footage, you guys are going to go to the photo app and you're going to look for the clips that you actually recorded. Now, before you share them and bring them to Google Drive, I wanted to show you something. If I select the clip, I just did this in my office right here from my iPad. If I go to the upper right hand corner where it says edit, okay, I want you to notice these tick marks at the very bottom. Okay, this is showing us what is going in slow motion and what's going normal speed. So at the very beginning, we see these tick marks closer together. That's because it's playing back at 30 frames per second. And in the very middle, it's actually playing back at 120 frames per second. Notice that if I click and drag on these lines at the very bottom, I can actually change where the slow motion takes place. So you might want to edit that before you actually send it to somebody else. Other things you can edit right here is if I click and drag on the yellow arrow on the left, I can actually change where the endpoint starts or where the film starts. And on the right, I can click and drag and actually change where the film ends. On the left, I can also change things like the saturation, the whites, the blacks, the coloring of the actual film. I can put a filter on it, and at the very bottom, I can actually crop it. Okay, the other thing I wanted to make note of, you can also flip it as well. In the upper right-hand corner, if I select, it almost looks like Tetris. I don't know, that's what I'm thinking of. The little L and the little boxes. If I select that up here, notice that I could actually crop it to a very specific aspect ratio. And now you guys know what aspect ratio actually means. Maybe I want it to be a square shape. Maybe I want it to have more of a cinematic feel to it. Okay, so we already know what that means, and you can actually crop it right here. All right, when you're done editing it, you're gonna hit done. Say save video. Okay, so now I'm going to pick, in the upper right hand corner, I'm gonna look for the square with the arrow up. I'm gonna select that. And I'm going to look for Google Drive. So Google Drive should be downloaded to your iPad already. If you don't see it here, you might have to go to More and Edit, and you might actually have to add the app here, okay, or switch it on where the little green switches are. All right, so mine's already there, so I'm gonna hit Drive. And it's going to zip the file, and it's going to say, what are we doing with this file? So first you're going to go to the very bottom where it says select folder. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit my drive, and I'm going to hit the folder with the plus in the upper right hand corner. And you're going to name this file your first name, your last name. You're going to name this video animation. And this is the year 21, and we're also taking this class through the 22 school year. So you're giving it a name and a purpose, and I'm gonna hit create, okay? I'm gonna say I wanna save it in here, and also I want to make another folder in this folder called slow motion, because every time you take clips, you want to take your clips and put them in the cloud, right? Because an iPad can be broken, an iPad can be stolen, your mobile device can be stolen, your computer could crash and be closed for days, and if you put it in the cloud, you can access it from any device. And I'm going to hit create. Okay, so now that folder is in here, so I'm going to save it to that. And then I'm going to hit upload, and this might take a second because it's uploading to the cloud. All right, and now I'm going to go to Google Drive. I'm going to look for that folder, that video animation folder. There's my slow motion folder, and here's the file. Now here's the thing is I want you to select the ... next to the name of the file and hit rename. Okay, this is not telling me what this file is, so I should be naming it with who actually filmed it, what it is, mouse click, and the day that I actually took the footage. Okay, this is just best practice. Then you know what these files are, and I'm going to hit rename. Okay, now that I've renamed it, I'm going to hit the sideways snowman again, the ... and I'm going to say share at the very top. And I'm going to use, I have Elena's email address here from the Post-it note, so I'm just going to use hers. So RL and then 2, 3, 5, blah, blah, blah. And so it's showing me the list of everybody that's in the system. So I'm going to select her, and then I'm going to hit the little it looks like, I think it looks like a paper plane, but it looks like a triangle, and that's going to send it to her. and I'm going to share that. So now it's shared with her. So the thing is, you have to do it with every single one of your clips. So you'd have to go back to Photos, and you'd pick the next clip, and you'd share it, and you go to Drive, and you'd say select folder, my Drive. You'd find your folder, you'd find the slow motion folder, and then you're going to say save here and upload. So you have to do it with every single one. So you don't have to remake those folders over and over again. You only need to make the folders once, but then you do have to go to each clip and actually upload it. All right, that's how you share it. And then you just have to make sure that you're sharing it with everybody in your group. So when you do have it in Google Drive, I just shared it with Elena. I'm actually going to share the whole folder. So once all the clips are in the folder, then you can go to ... and hit share, and then you're gonna pick somebody else in your group. So this was somebody else in her group. 3. Okay, so this is Ivan. So then I pick Ivan, and then I'm gonna pick the other person. RL 2 3 6 5. This is somebody else in her group. Pick that person, the other person, and then hit send. And then everybody has access to all of those files in that folder.